Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Pop Crime TV and Never a Truer Word. I'm Lauren Conlin, and this is Jack Fox, deception statement analyst expert extraordinaire.
What a lovely build up for a Friday, Lauren. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So it's a crazy news week. I am actually running around today. So forgive me if I hop off right at the hour. But listen, this is the news that matters, okay? This right here. Literally right here. Because honestly, most of you know if you were here last week or if you watched after, my friend Meg said, you got to look into this. This is crazy. And I was surprised that I had not heard about this, about Clayton Echard. Echard, Jack.
Echard.
The pronunciation. Yeah, I was just surprised. I hadn't heard of this personally because I do crime trials as well as pop culture, but I'm just not super privy to reality TV stuff. But this, she introduced me to this, and I was like, okay, we need to get Jack on this. So then I sent it to Jack, and he was like, I don't know anything about this, but this is gold. This is literal gold.
Oh,
I mean, right?
so yeah, I mean, so I've said on the last one, I knew nothing about this, so came in cold, not knowing anything. And then one of the joys for me is when I don't know something and I do some analysis on it. Saturday morning, we had a storm here, so I just sat the whole morning reading about this story, and I think I've scratched the surface of it because there is so much out there. But I think I texted you at one point, just went, "Holy crap, this is amazing!"
Well, I don't want to give anything away, but Jack, and listen, because I don't know, but Jack texted me and he said, Lauren, oh my gosh, I found a bombshell in the middle of this. And was this the tight email or the contract, the bombshell?
This is in the tight email, buried somewhere in the middle of it.
So let's start with that again. And I want to there was a comment. Hi everyone. Lisa, you asked to touch on the new Medium blog. So unfortunately, we don't have that much time. I know Jack's like, holy shit.
I read that this morning. Oh my God.
I know I haven't read it, so don't tell me, but we can do another episode on that because like there is so much. And you know, if you are part of my viewers or Jack's viewers and you're not familiar with this, let's just keep it very simple. Clayton Echard, a former Bachelor, had gotten into this paternity scandal with this woman, Laura Owens. Turns out she wasn't really pregnant, allegedly. He won in court, but apparently this is still going on. She has appealed and she has done this to other men. And I also want to add, Jack, regardless, you know, I do believe she is, she is in the wrong here, right? But I do think she needs serious help. Not being mean. Like,
there. So one of the things I would pick up on is we're kind of going in reverse order here because these emails happened after the Medium blog happened after all these emails. So and I picked up in that if you remember last week, I said I was getting signs of neurodiversity because she was talking about overwhelm and she was talking about needing structure and so on. There's none of that neurodiversity markers present in the email that we're going to look at here. So where have they come from? Has there been a diagnosis and she's aware of it? But it's two very different writing styles. This one, the email we're going to look at, certainly is someone in a big panic.
Okay, well, let's go to the email and let's see. It is dated July 1st, 2023. So this is, like you said, before the Medium blogs. And yes, people in the chat are like, you could have 20 parts and you're right. I mean, Jack is like, there's only so much time in the day, and you know, but let's get to it. I'm so anxious.
Okay, so let's get to it. So what we can see there is now again, this is going backwards, but I remember from the Medium blog that Clayton had talked a lot about, or she claimed Clayton had talked a lot about God guiding him in this, and she starts off with "I have prayed," which I think is her playing on his religious aspects here, because the first thing we say when we communicate with someone, when there's some correspondence like this, is probably the thing that is the most thought out. I don't know about you, I send emails all the time and send an email and go, actually, I need to put a little bit more on that and work in a nice warm, opening line and whatever. So the first one's really well thought about.
Sorry. Hold on.
That's all right.
I just messed everything up. What the heck did I just do? Okay, there we go. Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah,
Okay.
I think the world can live without my picture.
No,
So
stop.
we have. I have prayed that this email will have an impact on you, unlike others. It is truly the last you will get from me where abortion is a possibility. Now, I'm going to go in with one of the headlines here. Oh, by the way, when someone tells you something is truly something, that's a big red flag. Because why do people feel the need to point out that something is true? When you're telling the truth, do you go, by the way, this is true? No, you use
No.
truly and honestly when you're trying to persuade someone that you're being true and honest. Now, you could say, if you tell someone a slightly outlandish story and they go, what, really? And you go, honestly, that is you being asked and challenged about the honesty, and you come back with that reply of saying, yes, I am being honest. But when it's not forced on you, when you're not asked, are you being truthful? And you say, it's truly the last you will get from me.
Yeah.
Now, all the way through this email, she keeps talking and referencing the abortion. And I've looked through the entire email and gone, why is she doing that? And very much like we see with a lot of Laura, you're Lauren, she's Laura.
Yes.
A lot
Yes.
of Laura's writing is that it's all very in the negative. So what she keeps going on about is abortion is a possibility, but I don't want that. But abortion is a possibility, but I don't want that. Abortion is a possibility, but I don't want that. I think she does want the abortion. She does want Clayton to go, please have an abortion, for the reasons which may well be, if she is not pregnant, then an abortion takes that big pickle out of this story entirely. So just watch as you go through this, how often she goes back to this theme of abortion, and it's right there in the opening sentence. She mentions abortion being a possibility. So I would say, from having read through the entire email, she wants him. As much as she will say, I don't want, this is not what I want, she wants him to go for that abortion.
Because she doesn't want to be, I guess, held responsible for being the one to make that decision. She wants it to be on him. Am I right?
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
language you're picking up. Yeah. Okay.
But also I would surmise from it
Mm.
that she wants the outcome of this to be Clayton saying, have an abortion, which we could then go on to second guess and say that would be very convenient if someone is not pregnant, that an abortion comes into the stage, because then all of a sudden you've got the big problem, I think, would be taken out of here.
Exactly. And Bruce from Oregon said that exact same thing, because let's say it's fake, which we know now it was. There you go. That's an easy way out. Exactly.
So just look all the way through this, Bruce. As you go, you will see that I believe that she does want the abortion as much as she says she doesn't.
Okay.
So we then I have taken time to reflect on what I've been going through with our pregnancy. So pronouns always very revealing here. Now, quite often when someone uses joint pronouns, I think it does show intimacy and connection with someone. I think here it's maybe a bit more of a manipulative use of language.
Right.
I remember when I was a kid, when I got into trouble, my mum would say to my dad, you have to go and talk to your son. All of a sudden, I wasn't their son anymore. It wasn't, you have to go and talk to our son. My dad had the ownership of that one. Yes.
He's your son today.
He's your son today.
Yeah.
But I think she's using that slightly manipulatively to say, this is not just my pregnancy. And how you have acted towards me. You've shown no compassion or empathy. While I have been endlessly like the truly one is not needed there. She could have said, while I have been patient with you, but it's endlessly patient with you. So this is a persuasive word to show just how much patience she has shown. The exact same with you have provided you with an absurd amount of evidence. It could just have been giving you the evidence that I'm pregnant, but it's not. It's an absurd evidence that I'm pregnant. I've been completely honest with you. Right. So completely is really persuasive. And you've also got the honesty thing again. So she's now twice in the very, first, 7 lines of this email, had to point out that she is being truthful and that she is being honest. Now, why is that? It just, we don't feel the need to do that when we are telling the truth. When we're telling the truth, it tends to just come out. We don't, think of the mundane conversations you have that are true. You don't put truly in front of them.
Right.
What am I having for pizza tonight? What am I having for tea tonight? Truly, I'm having pizza. No,
Mm.
how anyone talks.
Right. And I want to add that, like, look, if I'm pregnant, I don't think I would be trying that hard to prove that I'm pregnant, right? I think it's like I've given you all the evidence. I think I would just be so insulted that
Yes,
somebody is asking me for all this evidence. I would just be like, Screw you, man. I'm pregnant. I don't need to prove to you. You'll see it eventually." How
I can't.
bizarre is that?
It will not show up on Canada, Lauren. But one of my notes under this paragraph is this whole paragraph could be written in 5-6 words. I am pregnant. Deal with it.
That's it.
Now, why isn't
That's
it?
it.
Why have we got all this persuasive wording there? The other things, I
Yeah.
won't go through the entire paragraph, although I blood and well could.
Yeah.
But she talks about send you anything you needed at any time and proven to you that based on when my pregnancy test became positive. So once again, she's talking about the process of a pregnancy test.
Oh.
She's not talking about actually being pregnant. I was about to say I've lots of experience of pregnancy tests. I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, just people in my life,
Yes.
being pregnant and so on. Not one person has ever described the fact they're going to have a child as, oh, my pregnancy test is positive. Not one person has ever said that. It is,
Not one.
I'm pregnant. I've conceived. We've conceived. We're going to have a baby. You're going to be a big brother. Like things like that are the conversations that are had. No one, when my pregnancy test became positive. So that shows what I believe is what was in her mind, which is the ability to have a pregnancy test positive some way, somehow. Because what's important to you as a person is being pregnant. It's not the state of the test.
No. Wait, is that the bombshell? Because that was
No. There's more to come.
But I mean, what you just said, when my pregnancy test became positive, this is blowing my mind right now. That is not not what you say. That you're so right. I've taken many pregnancy tests, and I'm not like, when my test became negative. No, I'm like, yo, babe, I'm not pregnant. I don't know. It's like, yeah, what?
Exactly. We talk about it in the personal sense, and even the word "became" is interesting because pregnancy tests are either negative or positive. They don't become anything. They don't. You don't have in most people don't have a pregnancy test and it changes from negative to positive. That's not how they work.
Right.
So yeah. The other thing she does in that.
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm
Tiffany.
trying to read the chat. It's hard to read the chat, but some of the shit's funny. I'm sorry.
The other thing she does in this paragraph is she asks questions. So if I wasn't pregnant with your child, wouldn't I be avoiding that at all costs? And then there's another one of the line. In addition, why did I offer to take a pregnancy test immediately when I got to your apartment? And why would I have been positive if I wasn't pregnant? And that is something I see a lot in deception, which is someone not explaining themselves and just not giving the truth. Like I said, this entire paragraph could be, I'm pregnant, deal with it. Instead, it's throwing questions at someone. While these questions on the surface, if you were to read them, if I weren't pregnant with your child, wouldn't I be avoiding that at all costs? The answer could be, well, no, not if you're trying something like blackmail, extortion, all that sort of stuff. So there are logical answers that go away from the point, but throwing all the questions is just designed to get that person confused almost, or going, oh yeah, you've got a point.
Right. And just adding to that, you actually made some comments this week about Jay-Z's. I'm not even going to call it a denial because it wasn't a denial, but in that statement he made, he talks about how the allegations against him should not be civil. They are so heinous, they should be criminal. And then he says, would you all not agree? Right. Yeah. So you feel like the asshole. Oh, you're right, Jay-Z. You're right, Sean Carter. These should be criminal, but continue.
Yeah, no. So on the next paragraph, she really starts laying in subtly to Clayton. So it begins, no person in their right mind would think there was a chance my pregnancy wasn't real. So what she's saying there is you're not in your right mind, Clayton. So she's, she
Yeah.
just veers between, wanting to be with this guy and have a relationship with this guy and really putting him down. If my pregnancy wasn't real, your lack of belief in it makes no sense. So again, you're nonsensical. You are not making any sense. Not a great way of persuading anyone to do anything, I think. But again, I think what this is about trying to cause confusion. It really is about trying to persuade that she is pregnant, and just working damn hard at it. Now, why would you be working damn hard at it? She also calls him immature. You said it was immature of you to have done that before, and she's saying he's doing that again. So he's not in his right mind. He's making no sense, and he's immature. It's been humiliating to have to rely on emails to communicate with you. Again, you have humiliated me. It's really putting him down. There, she said, I look stupid in there as well. So again, you have made me look stupid. So is this paragraph, and the paragraphs seem to follow a bit of a theme. It's really putting him down. And again, this one finishes with a question as well, talking about it was humiliating to pee on a stick in front of you, yet I did it. And when the test came back positive, you still didn't believe it? ? So,
but
God,
it wasn't in front of him. If I'm remembering correctly, she said she had stage fright or something. And
he said that.
Right. He
Yes.
said it. Okay. Well, I mean,
So,
I guess that's sort of just paraphrasing, maybe. But okay.
So it is. That is all about putting him down, and she just continues again with this putting him down there. But just their third line in the paragraph is your behavior after discovering that I wasn't lying has been selfish, not that I've been telling the truth. Your behavior after discovering that I wasn't lying. So there's focus there on lying. Now, I think we can see that the first two paragraphs have all been, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. No, I'm telling the truth. And it's right there in the words. Our focus is on lying, which is why it's come out in the negative, why I wasn't lying, just rather than I was telling the truth.
Stop it. This is so subtle, but so amazing.
It is.
Oh,
I mean,
my gosh.
For anyone watching, I could tell a lie. All of us could tell a lie. The sky is green, right? That's no different from me saying the sky is blue. The word format is all the same. But the more we say, the more things will leak out, because lying and keeping a lie congruent and so on is really hard to say. So while she might think here that she's getting across all this stuff, we can see from the phrase like, I wasn't lying, her focus is on lying. Now, I can't say for sure that means she's lying, but what I can do is ask the question, why is her focus on lying? Why is her focus not on, I am telling the truth?
Wow. Okay. I mean, I just find that so fascinating because it's not something that I normally think about. But when you say it like that, you're like, oh, you're absolutely right. Absolutely. Anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's an absolutely in this paragraph as well.
Absolutely. Okay.
Absolutely. But then towards the end of the paragraph, she brings God back into it. And it's, I have been praying and praying for you to show me who you think you are. Your cursor is just above it. Yeah. God keeps telling me that you're a good person and someone whose life I can enhance. So I don't know why things are as they are. I honestly wish he, and it's a capital H on he, so she's talking about God there, would be telling me differently, because it's hard to believe in someone who is so demeaning in these circumstances. So while at some point here she's saying that Clayton is a nice guy, she isn't really. It's God saying that Clayton is a nice guy. So again, we've got this putting him down. I don't think she really thinks that much of him for some reason, which doesn't hang together with entirely the rest of it, which is, I want to be with you for the rest of my life.
Right.
But it's all coming out here that, she doesn't say anything here like, I think you're great. I think you're wonderful. I think we've got a little bump, not a metaphorical pregnancy bump. We've got a little bump in the road here. If we could get beyond that, I think we'd have a great life together. She's putting him down, saying he's nonsensical. Probably because she thinks he's dumb enough to fall for some of this. You know what I mean? Like that's why that is there. So yeah.
No, Jack, you're right. Anyone who's been in a fight with someone they love, they do say, I think you're an incredible person. I think you're a wonderful man, woman, whatever. I mean, that's something that would be important if you're trying to make a relationship work, I would feel like.
Yeah. By the way, in this, and this is a bit of a theme of hers, just earlier on in that paragraph, she says, I have absolutely no issue going to the media anonymously after the paternity test and leaking what I have attached in the Dropbox file. Now, that sounds like a threat, and it kind of is a threat, yeah. But she does use the word absolutely, Lauren, just like you, which is, again, it's a persuasive word. It could be, I have no issue going to the media. But she doesn't. She says, I have absolutely no issues. So that's to really convince him that this going to the media could happen. But if you look at how passive it is, she doesn't say, I will go to the media anonymously, leaking what is here if you don't do what I want, which would be a direct threat and saying she will take action. I have no issue going to the media anonymously after the paternity test. So I think that is an empty threat. If I was assessing that for threat level, I would be like, that in itself is not really a threat. It's something that she wants to put in there. She wants him reading this to think, if I don't act on this, she is going to go to the media anonymously. But I would say she had no intention of going to the media anonymously at this point, based on what she said there.
No, and just to add to that, she did end up going to the media, and she claims at a later date she had to use her real name, which, for me, I've heard people in the chat and on Twitter talk about her trying to sue people and issue out all these defamatory lawsuits and everything. And well, you actually can't do that. If you go to the media first and you are technically a public figure, I mean, it doesn't matter. You've made yourself a public figure. You've made yourself this person that's susceptible to that. So your lawsuits, they're not going to work, unfortunately. Maybe if you kind of kept a low profile, right, and kept your mouth shut, stayed anonymous, you'd have a case there. But I think she has no case for whatever's going on.
Yeah. In the next paragraph, then, abortion comes back into it. So this is what I mean, that she just keeps coming back to abortion. So as much as she says, you can say you haven't been given a voice when I have told you that I will have an abortion if we try things out for a few weeks and have a good reason for aborting a child. So she she just keeps going back to this concept of having the abortion, which I think would be very convenient about that. I noticed that it's phrased as if we try things out, which is very vague. It's almost coy, isn't it? It's like, do you want to try things out rather than you know, do you want to have a proper, committed relationship, or shall we? She does seem a bit full on. I would maybe say, let's go on a date and see if we can, whatever. But she wants to dive full on into it. But it's try things out there, and she mentions that again towards the end. I like you and want to try things out with you.
I mean, that's the purpose of all of this. This is the purpose of all of this, but it should read, I'm obsessed with you. And no, and I'm not even being a jerk, right? But like, this is what it is. I like you and want to try things out with you. Honey, gosh, take a hint. He doesn't want to be with you. This is so hard this is hard, Jack. This is uncomfortable for me.
Yeah. More statements in the negative. I have no desire for money because I have more than enough. I have no desire for fame because I experienced what was there for the entire time I was in Chicago. Now, these are statements in the negative. So her focus is on money and fame. That's not me saying that she wants money and she wants fame, but she is thinking about those things. I got to say, when I read that and looked just how close that The Bachelor comes mentioned after this, does she actually want a slice of the money and the fame that would come with a Bachelor? Did he win it, or was he a contestant on it, Clayton? Sorry, I'd never heard of The Bachelor until last.
He was on a previous Bachelorette season, and then he became The Bachelor later on his own season.
Is that how it works? Great.
No, I don't think it works every time. I don't know if the producers liked him or something. People will know more than I would, but yeah.
Anyway, again, when someone states something in the negative, that shows where their focus is, especially because no one has brought up money or fame at any point here. But slap bang in between going to the media and mentioning The Bachelor, she mentions money and fame.
Yeah.
Interesting that those are so close together.
Right.
Um,
Wow.
Again, it's another statement in the negative. She says, talking of money and fame, and he's been on The Bachelor. I think that's the least interesting thing about you. So once more, this is all in the negative. It is just again kind of putting him down. That thing you have achieved, which he may well rightly or be proud of.
Yeah.
She's putting him down there with that. And then, I have never felt more empowered in my life than when we were doing real estate together. Crave that feeling and confidence again. And it's just now that she now does this switch. So after being mean and calling him nonsensical and saying that you've humiliated me and all that sort of stuff, all of a sudden, there's so much about you that I find admirable, inspiring, and sexy and attractive. And you're smarter than you think. Well, that actually doesn't say very much, does it? That's like a potentially a backhanded compliment. Charismatic and capable of doing so much good in the world. Again, capable of doing so much good in the world. You're not doing so much now, which is just
wow. I mean, if someone said that to me, I would literally be like, I don't not think I'm smart. You don't think I'm smart? Like, that is so rude.
Yeah.
What?
And actually, I hadn't joined up before that. I wondered if her opinion earlier when I was talking was that he's a bit dumb and maybe likely to fall for this. You're smarter than you think, again, is just talking about her, talking about the smarts that she thinks he has. And let's be honest, people who think they're dumb, maybe, I don't think some professor of something or other would think of themselves as dumb. I think we're talking about street smarts there, and this is someone going, I've made the wrong choices in my life, or don't ask me, I don't know anything. That sounds like the type of person, like maybe very confident within himself. Maybe he is smart, but I think she's gone, it's almost like a scam artist with a mark. The scam artist would.
She's saying that because she's realizing, oh, I thought he was dumb and now he's not falling for my tricks. And now it's kind of subconsciously coming out and her saying, you're smarter than you think you are. Or she's like, oh God, you are smarter than I thought.
Yeah. Potentially that. Potentially, I'm not sure she's got enough self-awareness to think like that. I think she might just have zeroed in on a target.
Yeah.
And it's gone like that.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Now, where is it in that paragraph? I'm just trying to find it. Oh, it's slightly up there. I'm pregnant with your child, not because of who I am. You haven't gotten to know me, and it's been your loss. So this is now her showing her own esteem there. So after putting him, well, just talking about some things about him, but there's so many backhanded compliments in there, and there's been a lot there. She's then doing it's been your loss. I've shown you qualities that no other woman were during the process, which doesn't quite make sense. And that includes being brave enough to stand up to you and hold you accountable for your actions. She doesn't actually say she's done that. She says, I've shown you that quality. Slightly different, slightly more distance there.
Okay.
In the next paragraph, I just want everyone to remember the phrase that's kind of in the middle of it. I am completely at peace with the likely outcome. I will have your child. Okay, so she's complete. I just want you to remember she's completely at peace with this, and then says, "I do see a lot of hard times ahead," and she sees a lot of hard times ahead. She's not at peace with what is going on at all.
Nope. Conflicting, and then she goes to we, right? I will have your child. I do see a lot of hard times ahead if that's what we choose, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
not a lot of we in this whatsoever for her, is it?
No.
We then get to the part where I just think it's all starting to fall apart for her. It wouldn't be obliging to make the decision to date exclusively. Now, that is just considering what has come before, which is you've humiliated me. You have, done things to me that no one else should. You think I'm a liar. I don't think that much of you either. You're not making any sense, etc., etc. This jump to date exclusively is just.
I mean, I don't know what this is. Unhinged. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to say, it's unhinged. Wow.
I know how valuable I am as a partner, so we've got money coming into it again. So well, she's saying she doesn't care about money and she has enough. She's got something about valuable in there as a partner. It is a valid word to use to describe a partner, but it's an interesting one in terms of all the things that could have been there. I'm a
Right.
caring partner. I'm a nurturing partner. I'm a fun partner to be with. No, it's valuable there.
Wow.
Then we've got, I know I could get any man on any dating apps or the bars, so I'm by no means desperate. Which again is it's a focus on the next on the negative. I'm by no means desperate. I mean, potentially saying that you want to date someone exclusively, you've just done all that stuff
Who
too, is
doesn't wanna,
potentially
like,
desperate.
respond to you or get back to you or anything to do with you? I mean,
Yeah.
man.
Um,
Oh,
and then she brings sex into it, which is like it's just gone from this very procedural, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me. This is what I think of you. This is how good I could be for you. Into I know you are sexually attracted to me, and it's like a whoa. Where did that come from? If this was a car driving down a road, it'd be veering from lane to. They probably did a few U-turns in it as well. It's
yeah.
just nuts. As if I don't know how this works, but it's as if she is just trying to put every possible stimulus out there, so to try and get the attention here. So I'm not interested in money or fame. I'm interested in sex. I'm interested in dating exclusively. I think you are very nice. I think I'd be great for you. It's almost like what. Let's brainstorm all the reasons two people could want to be together, and I'm going to get them all here in the one email.
Sorry, I was listening, but then I just skipped down to this part, because again, I'm not trying to be rude, but it's so unhinged, and I just go back to saying that she needs to get help, like
Yes.
real help. This is I mean, it makes me feel so uncomfortable, Jack. I'm so uncomfortable. I don't know how everybody's followed this so closely without losing it, like without completely, right? Where you just want to shake this girl and just be like, dude, what are you doing? What is going on? Like, get a life. This is horrible.
Well, let's do this paragraph because it is the one
Why not?
with the bombshell. It starts off by going back to abortion. It comes back to abortion. I notice as well that her focus is never on keeping the child. It's never,
Right.
as a decision to have an abortion is either do we abort the fetus or do we keep the child? That it's always framed as an abortion. And she never pulls him into a conversation of, do you want to keep the child? It's always, do you want to have an abortion? So I think that is, again, that's where her focus is. It's on abortion. It's not on keeping the child. It really is our last chance. And then it's just like, I would like to get tomorrow night and talk and explore intimacy.
Wait. Okay.
All right.
I would like to get together tomorrow night to talk and explore intimacy. Oh my God.
I mean, it is just it is time for you to make an effort. If that is something we are considering, don't get any sense that he was considering this whatsoever. You've told us that you can't communicate with the guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, I would love to have sex in the future. By the way, if you're about to have lunch or anything like that, it's about to get a little bit funny
Yes.
in here.
Right.
I would love to have sex in the future. I feel like I am the safest person you could have sex with since I'm pregnant. But if you really think, like you said yesterday, my goal was to date and get pregnant during this time, we can absolutely hold off on it. I've got to say, she's presenting two options to this guy that she has a lot of urgency about. So this is the last chance to consider abortion. Like we've said, that would be very convenient because if you can say you've got an abortion, you don't have to pretend to be pregnant anymore if that's what's going on. Or you can have sex, and I'm probably sure really hoping that through this sex, she does get pregnant, she does conceive so that we have a pregnancy going on. Yeah.
Wait, without you saying it, I think I found the bombshell, but I'm not going to say
Oh,
it
okay.
until I think I found it though. But
So
okay,
then we have the whole thing that this is named after, which I do not think is medically possible. Not medically possible. I don't think it's medically proven. However, it's
right.
occurred to me that you might believe me more about paternity if you were inside of me and felt how tight I would be. And here's the bombshell: after not having sex in more than a year. Well, how are you pregnant?
How are you pregnant? Yep.
If you have not had sex in more than a year, how the hell are you pregnant? And that's the
Wow.
second time she did that because it was in the Medium blog that she said she became pregnant
Yep.
after a year of celibacy. Twice she has talked about how
Yep.
she's not had sex. So, hey,
I mean, and the last sentence, having sex with me is a privilege and something I have not done for a long
long
time.
time.
I mean, and again, if let's say you want to play devil's advocate here, which you really can't, but let's say you did, she could have truthfully phrased it something like, how I would be after having sex with you for the first time, in a year or something along those lines. That right there, she just told us all. She
Yeah.
really has been celibate for over a year. She never had sex with him.
Believe the words that someone says. Because if she truly had sex
Wow.
with him, I would have expected her to say how I felt um, after not having sex in more than a year, apart from that one time with you, or like something like that.
Right.
Um,
Oh,
Having sex with me is a privilege and something I've only given to you in a year, not something I have not done for a long time. So that entire sentence there says she hasn't had sex in more than a year. So how is she pregnant? Like, just word for word, believe the words. How is she pregnant?
these are her own words. These are her own words. She literally admitted it, and you're 100% correct here. I can't get over this because there are so many other variations of what you could say if they did in fact sleep together. There are so many different variations.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay, so she kind of yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other possibility, and I'll be really open to this possibility as well, is that she has had lots of sex in that past year, and that this is all a lie,
Mm,
and lying's hard. So we will say big block things and not really get the nuances and subtleties there because we don't have the authentic words, the sort of thing that we spoke about there, to get it through. So it could be a huge lie. She could have had lots of sex in the past year. The celibacy thing was all a sham. And therefore this is all just not true. But whatever it is, if you haven't had sex more than a year, you can't be pregnant, even though it is Christmas.
and she even says, "You might believe me more if," did you catch that?
My-
"If you were inside of me." What?
yeah.
If?
Yes.
But you said sorry, I don't even know how did she even she said, "If you were inside of me." Now there's a question. What?
Sorry. All right. This is probably going to get. This is going to get. What's the phrase for? We call them 18 rated movies here. So
Yeah,
this is
sorry,
probably going to get us
X-rated,
that thing.
X-rated. But
X rated, right? Um, if they had sex together, he would know how tight.
that's that's what I mean. There would be no if. It would be like
Yeah.
when you were in,
Yeah.
it would sorry, but like
Yes.
what? What?
So this whole thing just is worded all wrong to match the experience that she says she has had. That whole part of it, we've gone over it a few times. We've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things in there that all say that they have never had sex, and that she cannot be pregnant.
Well, if anybody has a direct connect to Clayton Echard, you can tell him right there. That is her admission that they never actually had sex. That is not an opinion, Jack. We say that sometimes statement analysis can be an opinion. Some people not, they won't believe it per se. They'll say, oh, that doesn't matter, But by the way, if you're new to statement analysis, I mean, it's used by the FBI. It's used by police when they interrogate people. It's how they figure out truth and lies. And that right there, that's a direct admission of her admitting that they never had sex.
Yeah.
I mean, this is insane, completely insane. So, wow.
So
Wow. Amazing.
it,
That was a great bombshell for real.
it is nuts. It is absolutely nuts. Then we have, if you don't get back to me tonight, or if you give me the final word that you don't want to date and choose the outcome of the pregnancy, we are 100% having the child and there is no going back. I mean it. I am at peace either way. I mean, this is not someone who feels at peace either way, because the next thing she says is, my mental health and well-being is affecting our child's, and I would blame you if we have a special needs kid and discover that my stress hormones and blood pressure cause that. How can you be at peace with whatever happens if you have stress hormones and blood pressure and that you think are affecting this unborn child? That just, again, does not hang together. It's just, it's
wow.
just nuts.
That's a horrible thing to say to someone. I cannot even imagine being pregnant and saying to somebody who allegedly got me pregnant, saying, if this happens, it's your fault. That's not okay. And just to back in the chat, just to let you guys know, Jack and I have not watched any part of the trial. So I'm sorry if this, has been pointed out before. We apologize. I didn't watch anything. Again, I'm just going off of some of the documents and just an overview that I got. So yeah, we're going off of the words, but wow.
This is
awful. Who would say that to someone? It's your fault that this kid's special needs.
So bad. It's evil.
Oh my God.
Especially if there's no child. It's an evil. I'm trying to think if it's even more horrible, but it's horrible either way.
Yeah.
So yes, and I think that is pretty much. There is one more that's sort of bombshell-ish. If you go down towards the end, so go up a bit.
Okay.
There is it. Wait a minute, I'll try and match.
Sorry, I had the
That's all right.
Inside of me. If you were inside of me.
I'll just try and match what I can see here with what you've got. Go down a little bit further. Trust me, it's worth it.
Okay, this is the last. This is the last.
All right. Okay, so do you see the I was point to my screen there as if you could all see it. So on this screen there, where can I? So it's 2 lines above that. Yes. Okay. So about 4 lines down. So she goes back to abortion again. So that's the thing that she just does. And then she says, round about the middle of the screen, 4 lines down, do you realize how big of a deal this is for me to offer? I would love to be a mom and want that in the future more than anything else in the world. Have you ever heard a pregnant woman say that?
Nope. Oh my goodness. I would not. When I'm pregnant, I'm going to be a mom. Yeah, I'm so excited to be a mom.
Yeah, I'm going to be a mom. I'm so excited to be a mom. Some pregnant women even think they already are a mother because they've got the child inside them and it's growing inside them. But she talks in the future. Yes, she would love to be a mom and want that in the future more than anything else in the world.
That is so bizarre. That is so freaking bizarre.
It's in the context of an abortion, but it's, that would be, if what she's saying is true, we can still have an abortion, but I really want to have a child. And so the one I've got is going to be enough for me. Do you know what I mean? Or like it would kill me to get rid of this child. But that's something I will do, or I'll be very sad if that's what you decide. But no, she talks about I would love to be a mom, and no pregnant woman I've ever heard has described pregnancy or being a mom as something in the future like that.
I mean, can I say something else too? It's like, I just wouldn't give anybody the choice for me to have an abortion. You said you want to be a mom. You want to be a mom? Why are you giving someone the option to say, yeah, you should abort it, and then you're saying you're going to listen if you really want to be a mom? there's your chance to be a mom. I mean, yeah, that's absurd. Absurd. Yep.
Absurd pretty much sums it up. It's just the truth is leaking out in what she's saying there. I don't have much to add to what I think her motivations were, which is she wants to be with him for some reason. I don't know what the reason is. Actually, money and fame might well be the sort of reason that's there, because that's the only thing that I get in her writing that she wants. But this is, just that is just an email meant to provoke him to do something. There's something you notice that she wins on every option that she presents. It's the abortion, it's the date exclusively, it's the have sex. She wins in every single option that she gives him there at all.
I think she is really desperate for attention. I think she's highly insecure. I'm not a psychologist, but she really seems to have this lack of love and affection in her life. And I think she really wants to feel like this is so difficult, but it's just like, this is not the way to get men.
Yeah.
This is not the way to do it. Like to entrap these men. It's crazy and it's so wrong. And I feel bad for this guy, Clayton. Yeah. I really do.
I am not a psychologist like you, but I'm particularly disturbed by how quickly she goes to sex and a lot of things. And I do wonder what issues she's had in her life leading up to that time. That is, it's not a healthy thought process that she's got going on there at all whatsoever. And I wonder what's happened in her life that's brought her to that.
Yeah, well, just because we don't have that much time today, I do want to go to this here, which is the dating contract. And guys, don't worry, we'll do more. Like I said, I have another clip for Jack, and we have a few other things that people have sent. So we'll get to doing it, maybe after the holidays or whatever. But don't worry, we're not done, because this is, I find statement analysis fascinating, and Jack is the best there is. So it's truly mind-blowing, and I learned so much.
Okay, well, now, sorry, Lauren, this is your audience, but I'm going to have a right go at them there, because they said, please have a look at the dating contract. Could you tell me what in this contract is about dating or relationships? There's nothing there about it. Clause 1 is for the period of 1 week, while determining the best course of action, I'm sure that's meant to be course of action for the pregnancy, they will exclusively explore a relationship with intention, meaning the goal of turning into something long-lasting and meaningful. So that's about a relationship. And then everything else is about the legals. No obligation to engage in intercourse. Jeez, that's not a relationship. That's that's part of a relationship.
Yeah. What?
And then clause 2 is about court action. Clause 3 is about paternity tests. That's not a relationship.
Yeah.
Clause 4 is about paternity tests. Clause 5 is about terminating the pregnancy. That's not a relationship. Joint 6, during the 1 week period of relationship, if the decision is made to continue with the pregnancy, that is not about a relationship, and there is no obligation for the relationship to work out if ever is apparent this agreement was entered into for the wrong reasons. That's again not about a relationship. That's about the relationship ending. It is not about a relationship at all.
Right.
It is trying to force. Again, I get this sense of urgency. For this 1 week, we'll have a relationship. That means we can do this paternity test, and we can talk about this abortion, and we can talk about medical records, and we can make decisions and all that sort of stuff. So it is really not a relationship one. And the bit at the end of clause 1, where and this is where I do think it's a bit sad when she goes into the sex or the intercourse.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's about relationships. It's a bit sort of airy-fairy for me, talking about a relationship with intention and meaningful and all that sort of stuff. Oh, by the way, there's some sex as well.
Wait, sorry, where is that?
Clause 1 on that page you were looking at there.
Yeah, I had it. Okay.
There's, a relationship is intentional. It's got a goal of turning it into something long-lasting and meaningful. And by the way, intercourse can be part of it. And it's like, why mention that? Why go to this sex part of it when you were actually talking about quite a nice relationship there? It's all about, it's just not a relationship contract. It's one, again, about, it's very process driven, which is what I see a lot with Laura. It's yeah, we could have a relationship, but all these court things and pregnancy things and decisions and HIPAA releases and need to be done,
Right.
and about legal fees and blah 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 blah. It's just nuts. It
You know,
really, really is.
I'm thinking about this just out loud. Do you think that she thinks that this makes her attractive in the sense that she looks like she's intelligent and that she's well put together and she's, documented all this? I mean, because this is to me, this is opinion certifiable, right? I don't think any man would be like, "Oh, let me sign this contract because this is so sexy. Let me get in your pants up." Or like, it's just so, it's beyond. Like, does she
This
think
is
that this is, yeah.
This guy's been on The Bachelor, right? He is not going to be short of offers of intercourse, right? Do you know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
frankly, whether he may well not want to take him up on it, and he may well be wanting like a long lasting relationship, which is not based on that, but he's not short of offers of that. So when you say it just does not make any sense, it
Mhm.
really doesn't make any sense. It's not been thought through in any sort of meaningful way whatsoever. Again, I just think it's like throwing lots of things there to see which one sticks.
Yes,
And
right,
they're
right.
all quite bad.
Right. And this is so interesting. She creates the lawfare and then uses it as leverage. And that's exactly what I feel like this entire thing has been here, which is I mean, it's bizarre. And then imagine Clayton's like, okay, like let's do it. How would you feel as a woman after that? Like, how would you fucking feel? Like that is just so crazy. I just can't, right?
Dude, I've
Oh,
just got this
I did it.
picture in my head. Couple of romantic drinks. They're sitting on the sofa, and he's like, "Shall we move to the bedroom?" And she goes, "Well, there's no obligation to engage in intercourse if either party is uncomfortable. It's in clause 1 of our agreement."
Imagine citing the clauses. I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah.
beyond. It's totally beyond. And like I said, we can analyze, a lot more here, but because there's so much. But
Well, yeah.
what's interesting to me is, I find her words to be interesting. And there's been some things in the chat saying analyze the courtroom, maybe transcripts. I don't know if there are transcripts of that or if there's something we can watch. Usually with Jack, I transcribe things for him because that's just easier for him to look at the words only. So if somebody wants to email me, I know I've gotten some DMs on Twitter, but if someone wants to email Lauren at Pop Crime TV, if they have any transcripts from court, that will be super helpful. And oh, Debbie, yeah, I've also heard her mom does seem to enable this behavior as well. But
Right, that lesson I got from my mom. She always says, "Look at the parents." So
yeah,
that does not surprise me.
that's such a good point. Such a good point. Well, everybody watching today, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to Jack Fox at Never a Truer Word Videos. He also is on Twitter at Never a Truer Word. And subscribe to my channel as well if you don't, Pop Crime TV. And I am Conlin_Lauren on Twitter. And sorry, we went a bit longer last Friday, but like I said, there's so much breaking news right now. And yeah, just how good would I feel as a woman? Yeah, I'd feel horrible as a woman. So yeah, somebody, like I said, email me, and thank you all so much. Jack, do you have anything else to add here?
No, I was just going to say they're genuinely guys who are into this. There is so much more. Even the letter or the email that goes with this agreement is just ripe. It's about what 10 lines long, and there's lots in there. I have watched most of the TED Talk. I couldn't bring myself to watch all the TED Talk, and again, that is just like, wow, what is being said here? So there is plenty more to come.
Yeah. So maybe we should do that, the TED Talk here. I'm going to put hold on, so Jack is also dual streaming this right now, but I'm going to put his handles in the episode notes, but I'll put it in the chat. Never a Truer Word Videos. Yeah. So maybe we'll do part of the TED Talk, but it sounds like that was really hard for you.
Oh,
Okay.
it would be a feature-length episode of the 18-minute TED Talk that was
So maybe
wow.
we'll pick out the very best of that. But I also just want to reiterate something that I feel like was new to a lot of the viewers. Maybe they caught the first bombshell you found, but the second one was pretty amazing. she wants to be a mom, or she would like to be a mom, even though she's pregnant. Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys all. We're so happy to have you here, and maybe we'll get to the Medium article next time as well. So stay tuned, follow for details, and yeah, we appreciate you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Because of that 9-line.